Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTrackGear.com. Today we're going to break down our K-Tech Yamaha R7 STG Project Bike suspension upgrade. Okay, so with the Yamaha R7, right, we've got a wide range of riders that are going to use this bike on the racetrack. We have all the way at the top, guys like Blake Davis, last year's Twin Cup Moto America champion, Stefano Mesa on the MP13 R7, winning one of the races at Daytona, right? Those bikes are dialed and they require a different setup than probably most track day riders or club racers are going to require. So what we did with our build is we wanted to start off and do this just like a customer who's going to prep an R7, take it to the racetrack, and enjoy the bike there. Going to be some varying skill levels in our test. We're going to have varying skill levels this weekend because I'm going to ride it a little bit. I'm old and not that fast. And then Max is going to ride it. He's younger and he's a much better rider. So we're going to be able to test our setup with two different riders at the same track on the same weekend. What did we install? We installed the K-Tech DDS Pro rear shock, okay? We left the OEM linkage in place, so this is what I believe most customers would do, would make the most sense for them. In the front, we installed the K-Tech DDS pressurized front fork cartridges. That's a whole, we got a lot of stories there, buddy. This is interesting because I like to do a lot of this stuff myself. And when I ordered the parts from my man Skip at K-Tech USA, he's like, I don't know, dude, I think you should send them in. And I said, just send me the special tools and I'm gonna need to do it. 100% I guarantee I can do this. And let me tell you this, it was a little bit of a journey, right? Some of it was, just lack of experience with this particular install. Some of it was, we had a minor little conflict with the compatibility of a tool and the fork cartridge itself. I was able to solve all, but get it all installed, get it all bled properly, and I'm excited to get an opportunity to go out there and ride the bike. I will say this, after having installed these pressurized fork cartridges, and I've installed other fork cartridges before, this one, bar none, was the most complicated, right? What did it take for me to do it? If you want to turn around, Lucas, and show I have the Motion Pro suspension vise, right? My dirty ass bench right now, getting ready to leave. So you have to have that. That's a must have. What else do you have to have? Well, to get your OEM fork cartridge out, this is a Motion Pro fork cartridge removal tool for OEM pieces. I have that in my toolbox, right? You have to have that. This helps to compress the spring and get the OEM cartridge apart. Special tools from K-Tech. Right? A couple of them are included along with this pressurized front cartridge kit. It came with 3 sets of springs. It came with a 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5. We went with 9.0 to start off with. And it also included a top cap wrench and a pull-up tool. You're going to need these to change. This is a combo wrench. You're going to need these to change the fork springs if you want to change the fork spring rate on your own. That's super easy to do, right? Now let's get into the fun stuff. So when you're installing, we didn't shoot a video on this because number one, it would be embarrassing if you saw how long it took. This one gave me a little drama. What did I have to do it? For removal and reinstallation, this used to be an 8mm T-handle. I cut it off and I have a 3/8 8mm socket. It's too short. It wouldn't penetrate in there, so I cut this. I was able to slide it right in there, drove the other one out, slid it right in there. So that worked great, solved that problem. This is a little Allen socket, and you see the tolerance of this, right? It's right up to the edge of 17 mil. This had to go all the way down into the very bottom of the disassembled K-Tech fork cartridge. And the issue I got into with the compression leg was, this used to have like an anodized coating on the outside. And I have snap-on locking extensions that hold these things, really nice. The first one on the install, it stuck in there, and it took me probably over an hour to get it out without damaging anything. It was a lot of wiggling and patience and pulling, and not great. So how did I fix that? Well, I put this in an impact gun, I spun it, and I had like some 220 sandpaper, and I just held it on the outside. I just took off the outer coating. From there, the tolerance was perfect, slid right in and out. No problemo, okay? Other tools that I had to buy. This is for the top caps on the fork cartridge, right? It's in a couple of different stages. You have to be able to pull it out, put it back in. This is required to do that. Fork oil level gauge, I already had that. This tool is used to compress the top out spring and hold it after you bleed the valve stack on the installed cartridge with this thing, right? It's a little push rod tool. The rebound side is really, really easy. Just very easy to bleed, no problem. The compression side, well, let me tell you this. I mean, I'm not really that weak, and pushing this down in the fork to bleed that out was very difficult. How much more difficult than the rebound side? Like 100 times harder. I don't even think I'm close to exaggerating. What I ultimately ended up doing is I stood up on top of my bench and I pushed down on it, right? You need to do it like 10 times. And what I discovered is I had a more difficult time bleeding the compression side, the compression leg of the forks. So what I did is I bled it, pulled it out, let it sit for like 5 minutes or so. Any additional air bubbles maybe work their way out. Then I put in, right, the other half of the cartridge with the top out spring on it, compressed, tightened it up, released it, and when you push it down, it's supposed to return on its own. That indicates you bled it and it's pressurized. It still wasn't doing that. So what I did is I put the pull-up tool on the rod, and I compressed the top out spring, bottomed it out. I did that probably 10, 15 times. Very easy to do that. I then took it out, removed it from the fork cartridge. I grabbed my bleed tool, and I did what is now one of my least favorite things in the world to do, pushing that down in there. Did that 2 more times. Then I put this on the top out spring, compressed it, dropped it in there, tightened it up, torqued it all down, and it was perfect. And I can tell you this, I was pretty excited when it was perfect. So it was a journey. There's a lot of additional pieces that you need here that you're probably never going to use again. So what I'm saying is, with these, just send them out. It's going to save yourself a lot of drama. I enjoyed the journey. I learned some new things. That's always good to do, especially when you're old, right? Learn some new stuff. I would send them out. From here, we've got Michelin Power 2 slicks on it. The reason we decided to ride, this isn't a Moto America bike, this is a track day bike. Those are race tires that we sell, and they have shown good durability and performance at the racetrack. So that's what I've chosen to run on it. I'm excited to get the bike to the track. We're going to have a lot of setup adjustments that we're going to have to make. You know, I've heard varying things from this bike. It seems that the ultra fast riders run into more setup issues, which makes a lot of sense. The harder you're able to push the bike, the more it can push back when you're trying to find those last few tenths or that last second, right? We're going to do follow-up videos for sure with both Max and I, because I think this is going to be a relevant test for all of our customers and riders that are interested in this bike, because this is a very interesting street and track bike for sure. It's going to show how far do you need to go to get out of it what you need, right? Because what you don't want to do is break the bank and changing all these links and all these other parts and putting R6 forks on it and offset triple clamps if you don't need that to get the level of performance that you desire. So here's the beginning of the journey. K-Tech is a brand that we've got it on as Ninja 400s, right? Use Öhlins, 2 Öhlins is good stuff, but we've used it on as Ninja 400s. The support that we've gotten from K-Tech has always been very good. Rest in peace, my friend Lenny, you're gonna be missed. That's one of the K-Tech trackside guys. He was a wizard, he helped us a lot. Good friend. You know, he unfortunately passed away last year. So it's gonna be weird with him out at the racetrack this year. Still a lot of great people, obviously, at K-Tech. Great product line. If you have any questions, Leave those in the comments section of this video. And remember, we're going to be back. Max and I are both going to be back sharing our feedback and discussing the journey of the STG R7 a little more.